Germany as the land of ideas is praised for its rich research culture. Many of my international students ask me about the PhD system in Germany. Getting a position shouldn't be a problem, right? Wait until you hear me out. There are two paths that lead to a PhD. One path are structured PhD programs. Those are programs that usually come with a course curriculum and interdisciplinary workshops in scientific writing and other topics. There's a dedicated support structure with several supervisors and fellows. This model is more common in English-speaking countries. You've probably heard of the term PhD studies. You basically enroll in a program which is mostly tuition-based. In Germany, the number of PhD programs is comparatively low. I put links to databases in the description. You should still have a look, and maybe you're lucky in your field of studies. Most people in Germany are forced to walk on the individual path to a PhD. That comes with a few advantages, but also some downsides. You don't pay for your PhD. On the contrary, you have a paid full-time or part-time job. You do your PhD in the scope of that job. Too good to be true? Of course, not every job gives you the freedom to work 100% of your time on your PhD. Lots of other tasks have priority and you can lose track of your core PhD work. This is where many people struggle. As the name of the path already indicates, you're on an individual journey. You're mostly on your own when it comes to pushing yourself. There are 3 places you can go to do your individual PhD. First, you can find one of the following positions in a university. You can get a position as lecturer. They deal with preparing and giving lectures about 1/3 of their time. Another third of their time goes into things like project acquisition and lots of small management tasks for their department. That leaves them with roughly 1/3 of their time to work on any scientific project and do a PhD. Some can squeeze out more time, some even less. Foreigners rarely get lecturer positions. The main reason is the language barrier. Most classes in Germany are taught in German, and the management tasks also require good German skills. You can work as a researcher in a dedicated project, which is often third-party funded. There can be several problems here. The project itself may not align well with your PhD work. You may have to get routine tasks done before deadline. Then the project runs out of funding. You get assigned to another project while trying to finish the PhD work related to your old project. Here's a third way. You can define your own research project and apply for funding on your own. There are many programs that fund individual researchers for a few years. Professors are very open to that. It's a long shot and I've seen that happen rarely. Naturally, students have less experience in their fields and in writing project proposals. Nevertheless, let's say you've specialized in something during your studies and even did a great master thesis on it. If you find an interesting funding program, some energy to write a research proposal, and several months' patience to wait for a reply, then go ahead and try it. If you get this position, you'll be working 100% on your PhD. From my observation, the best chance to land a position as a researcher at a university is this. Get a student job in the department of your interest. Make yourself valuable or even indispensable. Ask if there are any research proposals in the pipeline. Contribute in the proposal in some way. Then get the full-time job for that project. Universities must publish all job ads. However, the professor has the say in who gets the position. Your chances of landing a position that you created yourself are very high. We covered universities. Let's talk about research organizations. In Germany, you find more than 1,000 research organizations. Some of the bigger ones are Fraunhofer, Helmholtz, Max Planck, and Leibniz. Many of my students work at DLR, which is the German Aerospace Center. It has several space research facilities. Those organizations have international groups and are great places to apply for foreigners. Even if you work in a research organization, you must get your PhD title from a university. That means supervising professors must be assigned to you. Those research organizations work with many universities, and it shouldn't be an issue to get a supervisor. In most cases, they have one ready for a certain project. Some department heads may already have a professor title. In other cases, you may have to approach a professor in the relevant field. It's not a real hurdle though. You'll have the same pros and cons as you have with doing a PhD in a research project in the university. Lastly, you can do your PhD in the industry. There are some hurdles though. Your company must be open to that, so discuss your ambitions in advance and get support for your PhD in writing if possible. Your tasks must be somehow research oriented. There are lots of possibilities to shape the PhD topic. The topic should align with your work. If your full-time job is something totally different than the research you want to do, it's almost impossible to make any progress. You must find a supervising university professor, maybe your professor from your time back in college, maybe another one. To encourage you, supervising professors don't have to do much. They meet maybe once a year with you and grade your PhD thesis after you submit it. For them, it's great to say that they have many PhD graduates. It's also great for them to collaborate with industry. In many cases, professors will be open to accepting you as an external PhD candidate. Many researchers suffer while writing a PhD. There are deadlines, additional tasks that keep you from working on the PhD, problems with the supervisor. Plus, it's difficult to make continuous progress in a time span of 3 to 5 years while being mostly alone. I believe it's very important to get support. Your university may offer support programs for PhD candidates. There are external coaches that you can hire for little money. There are support groups with fellows, buddy programs, and more. Don't wait for problems to arise. Set up your support structure from the beginning. Once you have your PhD position, check out the PhD format options that the university offers. You can submit a classic PhD report with, 100 pages. Some universities may also allow you to submit a cumulative PhD. That means you publish your progress in 2 or 3 journals over the years. You write a short summary, and that package counts as your PhD. Finally, I want to mention the requirements for writing a PhD in Germany. In most cases, you'll need a master's degree, diploma, or similar degree to qualify for a PhD. You need to stick to your field of studies. In some cases, you may even need to have a minimum final grade. Make sure to check the PhD requirements of the university. Especially if you're a foreigner, go to the ANABIN database and see if your foreign degree qualifies you to do a PhD in Germany. To be certain, you can submit your certificate and have them check it for you. You don't necessarily need a master's degree or equivalent to do your PhD in Germany. There's a fast track that allows you to do a PhD with a bachelor's degree. You can then do your PhD and master's in parallel, or just your PhD. Every university has their own fast track rules. In many cases, you need very good grades and must show outstanding scientific achievements with maybe a publication. You may even have to do qualification tests. I hope this video will help you in the pursuit of a PhD in Germany. Don't forget to subscribe to get more updates in the future. See you soon.